Wow. What up, Rich Waters? Okay, so I am in the Honda Fit. We about to get fit. Anyways, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna be taking this on the back roads of wine country in the California, in the major California way. So should be interesting. 8:20:55. Look, I'm so white. I reflect the sun. Oh my gosh, excuse me. So, anyways, this is a beautiful backcountry road. I did post a video of me doing it in the eclipse. Wow, you really can't see me. I just reflect the light. Bing! Solar flare! Oh gosh, it's gone. It's gone. Anyway, so we're taking the backcountry roads in the Honda Fit. So we're gonna make sure that we get a lot of that footage of me just windshield wipers. But it'll be really good because I'm gonna what I want to also do is kind of teach you how to do the proper shifting and techniques and everything. I hope you like the music mix I chose this time for this beautiful ride. But as your captain, we're gonna do this right. Anyways, sit back and enjoy, and I'll show you what it's like. Thanks for watching. Alright, so we're gonna start doing it now. The sun is super bright, so it's gonna be a little hard to see all this stuff. But, you know, doing the hot mixes and everything like that. So a lot of times you want to find that power range for your vehicle. And you want to make sure that whatever vehicle you're driving, the higher RPM your vehicle is going to be, the more of a range you can possibly go, but also at the same time it's less. So getting to that torque curve is going to be a little bit harder, but hey, that's cool because you can get into those like high powered gears. You do not want to ride your clutch. I just rode the clutch a little bit just now because I was shifting between second and third trying to figure out what would be the best for that situation. You really want to know where those ranges are. So I know I can go to 40 like in second. So if I really need to, I can heel toe it, bring it up, and lift that clutch out, the clutch out, and take these corners, get that power cycle going, shift it out into third, accelerate through. And that's what you really need to do when you're in a territory like this, because you really want to get those power cycles going, knowing where they're at and everything. You don't want to get in a situation where you're lugging. But I mean, if you want to stay fuel, then you can lug out. Just make sure you don't floor. Because if you're flooring it and you're lugging out, then it's no good. So right now that's shifting in the second real quick instead of being at first up until torque curve, which is not good. And same thing with that third. I can pop it back down, take it to that torque curve, just kind of powerhouse through this. Oh man, it feels so good. So bringing it back down and around, powerhouse through it. And these Honda Fits, they have a very good range. If you got, you know, the sport model, they have a really nice range with that VTEC engine. You know, 3,000, you're going to be saving like fuel economy and stuff like that. Once you head up there in the 3,500 RPM range, you get that variable valve timing to kick in, and you get all that power. So from 4,000 to about 7,000 RPMs is your range, which is really awesome. But you want to stay in that range so that way you can really get the best performance out of your engine. Make sure you have oil. Because if you don't have oil, then you're really kind of screwing up your engine. Yes. Look at the power. You got to be flowing like the water. You must flow like water from gear to gear. Make sure your car corner real well. Look at how we flow like the water. Through the valley, slipping through the mountain. And just feel that the feeling of going through these corners, making sure your tires are nice and good. Because you don't want to, and you got to be really careful over here because there might be a car around the next corner, but you know, I try to be a little bit more professional, stay in my lane. Yo dog, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, dog. Don't be messing. Don't be day and at night. And so that's what I do, is I try and stay in my lane, just in case there's a car. You don't have to make a huge correction. Don't overdo it. Come on, you're already having fun going through these roads. Don't overdo it. Don't sit here and try and be a NASCAR driver. Except I'm going right. Oh man, now I'm gonna take a left. Don't be trying to do all that. Come on now, just have fun. Oh yeah, baby, that VVT. Woo! Now this is some stuff right here. It's some intense stuff. Through the hills we go, driving down a mountain. I'm going around here, and I'm having some fun. Ooh, like that corner. Oh, the corner been nice. Like the water. Whoa, hold your horses there, son. A lot of things you want to do, make sure you're doing. Do not brake in a turn. Braking in a turn will break your neck. You want to use the engine braking in a turn. Try not to brake. If you do brake, tap it. Just very lightly tap it. Don't multi-simultaneously tap it. You want to brake before the turn because that's where you're going to keep a lot of that control. Braking in the turn, you're going to lose control. Same thing applies when you're on a motorcycle. You want to brake before you turn because you lose a lot of control when you're doing it. But if you're drifting, then yeah, you want to like, but this is front wheel drive, so I don't want to do any Scandinavian flips here, especially with such a small road. I don't recommend it. So, but as you can see, it's just, oh my gosh. See, I'm slowing down before I hit that turn with all that power, because you're gonna lose your car. You're gonna lock up your tires, you're gonna lock up everything, and you can't shift that momentum in a different direction. And that's all it is you're tossing this weight from side to side, forward, back, wherever you want to toss it. You can't really toss it back, but you want to toss this weight from side to side to front. And so you, especially in front wheel drive, you're pulling your car instead of pushing it. So you got to keep that in mind. It's like, okay, I'm pulling it through these corners. I'm not actually pushing it. In real wheel drive, you have to keep in mind that you're pushing your car through corners. You're not pulling it. So you have to really think about that when you're in these different vehicles. The lighter, the better. The heavier, the scarier. The more sketchy it can become, because you know, you're sitting here, you can go in such a light vehicle. It's so nice because you can really have that stopping power. You're in a heavy vehicle, that weight is going forward. Like in this turn, the weight is going forward, and you're not going to be able to recorrect it because all that tons of weight. And then if you have, that's good, and you have giant tires with great traction and they're nice and hot, perfect. You can roll it around, but then you also have to think about that body roll. I was driving a Chrysler Valiant, and I'm Plymouth Valiant actually. It is still Chrysler, but it was just so heavy. It was hard to even stop going like 20 miles an hour. I mean, that thing was ridiculous. And you also want to think about a lot of that engine braking will help, and that's why my other video, I'm like, man, it'd be so nice if I had the Fit because I can use a lot of engine braking. The transmission in that Eclipse just wasn't geared for the engine braking, and so that's what really prevented me from really getting a really good feel for the road. And the suspension in this is actually a little bit nicer than that. Even though that's modded to be a track car, I actually feel like I'm going faster than I was in the Eclipse, which is insane to think about. And this is why you also want to stay in your lane. Like, that car came out of nowhere. Nowhere. You're not going anywhere. I got you for 3 whole minutes, Spider-Man. But yeah, that's pretty much what you want to do. Make sure you're throwing that weight around in the right spots. Make sure that you're adjusting yourself right once you get that feel. Get that suspension going. Make sure your brakes are good to go before you start anything like this. Test your brakes. Just sit there and be like, you know, kind of test them out. Because if you're in a car and you're like, yeah, the brakes might be good, it might not be bad, you know, you never know, just go ahead and do it. Yeah, you're gonna have some problems. That's why you maintain your motor vehicle's brakes. And if you ever get in a situation where you need to stop and you need to stop, tap your brakes. Slam, slam, not slam and hold. because that bite is what's going to give you that stopping power. You don't want your brakes to lock up. Locking up your brakes is the worst case scenario you possibly do. And it's better just practice the technique of hitting that pedal, letting off, hitting that pedal, just in case you're ever in a vehicle that doesn't have ABS. So like my trucks, they're both equipped for ABS, but a lot of times they're just too heavy to take full advantage of the ABS, and they just, you know, they won't stop, especially with the Bronco. It's got 35-inch tires on it, no, 33-inch tires on it, and they're made for the mud, and so anytime it's raining, the ABS does not kick in at that point. It just slides. And so I have a huge issue with that, but I've learned to just step, and I create my own ABS. And that's how they used to do it back in the day. Pump the brakes, don't lock them up. And so I feel like we're pretty much got through all the fun section of this whole journey. And that's kind of, you know, how this fit performs. Fits are amazing little vehicle. I got this one from my mom, and she took very good care of it. The valves on it are amazing. I've taken it apart and done a valve job and everything on it. It looks amazing. It sounds amazing. The exhaust is perfect. There's a lot of potential to add horsepower. If you just change out the intake manifold and the actual exhaust manifold and exhaust on this, throw a 3-inch exhaust on it and a nice header, you are looking at a good horsepower gain of like 30 horsepower, maybe 30 horsepower. That may be over exaggerating, but the thing is, you can strip a lot of weight from this too. The 2 rear seats are removable. There's a lot of weight that can be taken away, and you would have a stupid fast car. They use these in rallycross a lot, and I know why, because the engine's so small. Such a small engine, such a lightweight vehicle. Like, it literally, it's insane how light this thing is, and I love it. I think I will always have a Fit. It's like driving a CRX, except it's bigger, way bigger on the inside. You don't have that giant engine. I don't know if you could throw an H22 in one of these, but you can turbo them. Turbos are always an option because it's forged internals. You want to replace a lot of the spark plugs and everything. But changing out that intake manifold and that exhaust manifold and the exhaust, you're pretty much turbo readying your car. You're pushing it towards that place of being turbo ready. And then once you get it a turbo on there with that, you know, cast, that metal exhaust manifold, you're going to be doing a lot better than having the plastic exhaust, the composite plastic exhaust manifold that's on it right now. And these engines don't typically run very hot either. They got a closed cooling system, and you know, the intakes on them are really nice. There's a lot of room to work. The valve jobs on them every 60,000 miles makes it keep sure you're running at peak conditions. It's a nice car. I'm not gonna lie, I love the car. But I'm definitely gonna pop you all off because since I'm behind somebody, it doesn't seem. Oh well, I guess he's moving. It's a really slow turn. I wonder why he's turning so slow. Maybe he was smoking pot, texting on the phone. Who knows? But I don't think we're gonna see anything really fun anymore. It was nice talking to y'all. Like and subscribe, and yeah, and enjoy the vid. I have more videos updated daily, sometimes weekly, but most of the time I do a new vid almost every single day. Alright, ciao.